Hey guys, welcome back to Obsessed. I've missed you all, and you too, and Evan, and you three as well.
Missed you too.
I feel people don't know this, but I didn't record last week, but you guys got an episode, so nothing has happened for you. But for me, I was thinking about this as I was falling asleep last night. I think I experienced a version of blue balls that's like I couldn't obsess last week. So I had all this built up obsessed energy that really affected me negatively. And you could actually see that come out with the obsession that I've had with my waiter. And I think that that's what's been happening there. It's female blue balls.
You're so strong.
Yeah, I am really strong. And by the time this comes out, hopefully the obsession with the waiter has come and gone, because I'm ready for that one to pass. It's been really consuming. And I'm going to get a restraining order. Penny, have you heard about the waiter? I have to stop talking about it.
I would love to hear about it.
I can't tell you.
Okay, great.
No, I have to stop talking about it.
Okay.
But basically, I just fell in love with my waiter. And I did about 16 episodes of B&C about it.
Great.
And a Tinder ad I did that's coming out fully about him. So.
Do you think maybe there's some reciprocated
I don't
feelings?
think so right now.
Okay.
And I also think it's time for me to not go back to the restaurant.
Hey, there's other restaurants out there. Other waiters out there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Kenny, he's identical to Jonathan Groff.
Oh gosh.
I didn't stand a chance.
I don't need to hear anything else.
Yeah,
I get it.
I didn't stand
fully
a chance.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I should be good after I get everything out during today's episode. Yeah.
Well, Brooke, you don't always have to be a star.
I know, but you do if you are going to be in the biggest boy band in the world. I gotten so worked up that I had thrown up on myself in my stroller. In my 14-year-old self, I said, those are hot men. And look at them now. They're like babies. That was kind of just like a casual interest, which I guess maybe a little bit more than casual. How's everyone else doing?
Swell.
Great.
No complaints.
Yeah. We
Nothing?
missed you too. My one obsession that I had today was the confidence in which I ordered myself 2 muscle tees.
Yay, Penny!
Tried them on, immediately realized I've made a huge mistake.
No,
those
why
were
do you
going
say
right
that?
back to the manufacturer.
That's okay.
I was doing a little bit of drinking while we were gone on our little week off.
Had some mocktails.
I was on vacay and I was like, this brand Elwood I really like dropped some muscle tees, and I was like, I like their other stuff.
Yeah.
I'll pop into a short sleeve, sure.
Is there like something on the shirt, or it's just a plain?
Oh, it's just like a t-shirt, and they snip the sleeves right here, just below the shoulder.
Just below.
And I'm like, this is something I can rock. And tried it on immediately. Split second of seeing myself in the mirror, went, oh, let's get this back in the bag. Gotta send this
Let's
back.
get this bad boy back in the bag.
And there was that moment where, when you try to like convince yourself maybe this is a good purchase.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
I turned to Sophie and I was like, yeah, right?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't think that's going to be a winner. All right, send it back.
Wow. This seems so obvious now that you say this, but I didn't realize that happened to men.
Yeah. I think we're particular. We just maybe don't vocalize it, so maybe as much. I think we take our losses silently, which I think is wrong. I think we should take the approach that some women have, which is just like, share the word. It didn't work out.
I love that.
There should be an open platform to share our losses.
Men can have feelings about the way they look and Thank you for normalizing that.
Yeah, of course. So muscle tees are summer's winding down anyway. I didn't need
winding down anyway. You did not need them.
No.
Yep.
Maybe next summer.
Maybe next summer.
Maybe next summer or not. Whatever. You're flexible.
That's all good.
Yeah. Iziana, what's up with you?
I think I've reignited my horse obsession since my trip to
I didn't realize
Kentucky.
the flame had gone out.
Well, I do it more silently. But once I'm in that world again, I start posting like a crazy person about it.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, so my Instagram stories last week were kind of a lot for me, which is fine.
I love when you post.
Oh, thanks.
We all want more content.
It's really impressive. Like, you have the writing style down, and like my first thought when I saw you writing was like, wow, that took like years of practice to get that form down. That was my first thought. So
yeah.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, so now I'm training for next season officially, which is fun. Got third the World Championship.
Izzy!
Yeah. Very fun. Yeah.
At the World Championship.
Yep.
Wow. Is it like a specific league you're competing in?
Yeah. So it's like there's a bunch of different categories. So there's like a trainer class, and then like an amateur class, which is like adults, and then there's a kid class. My horse showed with my trainer, which is like kind of a big deal. And then next year I'll show him myself. So
What does that mean?
So
Are you on the horse?
Yeah, but they do have like buggies that you can drive too. Because I do saddle seat, which is like there's riding and also driving. And it's like a form of English that's really fun. But yeah, there is some like a lot of people will see a saddlebred and be like, oh, that's like animal abuse.
Okay.
But I'm gonna set the record straight. It's natural movement.
Natural movement.
Yep. We don't like hurt the horses to make them move like that. Just very normal.
Love it.
Your horses are natty.
They are natty. Yeah, we don't use any stimulants.
Does your horse have a name?
Yeah, we have two. One is Lucy. She's in LA. And then the one in Kentucky is Otto.
Otto?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And then we have a like half one named Harry, which...
Half a horse?
Yeah, because like my mom and someone else own it together. His name's Harry, after Harry Styles.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely. Itchy.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
proud
sweet.
of you.
Thank
and
you.
I hope that you continue to be obsessed with your horses.
Yeah, me too.
We support you in that.
Thank you.
I saw Blink twice last night.
Oh, did you like it?
You have you heard about it?
Yeah.
What is
Any?
this again? I'm sorry.
It's that new movie with Channing Tatum that Zoe Kravitz directed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You saw it twice?
No.
No.
Oh. Oh, Blink twice. Okay.
The name is Blink twice.
My bad. Okay.
No, that's
I was like, wow, you are obsessed.
Easy mistake. And something I would do. Whoa. I didn't realize what I was getting into. It's like a very Get Out type of movie, which I think that might be my favorite genre, interestingly enough.
Really?
A lot of people have a lot of problems with it, which like what I guess a lot of people have a lot of problems with everything. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I love the types of movies where you go in and you know right off the bat, like, okay, obviously something is so wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. Like, and they leave you with the perfect amount of here's what is wrong, but also there's a lot up to interpretation. And I feel like that movie like handled that formula so well. And I really liked it. And I think it made a great statement on the systems of power that we are working with in the patriarchy today. So I liked it. Go see it. Yeah, we can talk about it maybe later.
Cool. Have you seen their interviews together?
No.
Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz. They're
Are
so
they married?
Cute. They're engaged. But there was like one clip that was going around where they were like, oh, what's your first impression of each other? And they're such like a chill couple. Like they're like opposite of Blake and Ryan, I think. And it was so cute. She was like, well, you know, he's Channing Tatum. He's like pretty average. Like didn't think anything of it. Then he was like, yeah, she was like chill. It was so cute.
God, I love that.
Yeah.
Really, really, really feeling good about that.
Yeah.
I think Channing definitely, and maybe this was just in the film because I haven't seen him just like as Channing recently, but definitely got a new set of veneers. Yeah.
Watch that space.
That's something that I was fixating on during the film. I think that's my least favorite. This has nothing to do with Channing, of course. I think that's my least favorite beauty trend is veneers. That being said, I'm about to dive into my Invisalign on September 5th. So,
No worries.
Okay, I need to talk about Hamilton like really, really bad. Yeah. So I've always loved Hamilton from the second it came out, and I think it was 2016. I never got the chance to see it on Broadway with the original cast, which is something that still haunts me to this day because, Kenny, do you know who was in the original cast of Hamilton?
It was Miranda, right?
Yes,
it was like,
Lin Manuel Miranda
and
wrote, directed, everything, starred in.
Yeah.
And there's actually another key player, Kenny.
Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
He played. Oh, I know this. He played the king.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, he was the king.
Yeah.
And I was in college when the original cast was in it, and for whatever reason, like I just like didn't think I could leave Boston. Like that just like didn't occur to me that you could just like take recreational trips. on also that was like Hamilton was truly like, I think it was like $500 a ticket, and I just couldn't do it. So thankfully my friends all, because I was so obsessed with it, my friends pitched in for my birthday and got me a ticket, and I went alone, but it wasn't the original cast, but it was still great. But I did get to see it on Broadway, and that's the only time I've seen it. But what's so great about Hamilton is that just listening to the soundtrack, like that's the whole show. There's no dialogue. If you just listen from the first song to the last, that's the whole entire story told through the music, and you get almost as much out of it as if you're going to see the show.
Wow.
So if no one's ever seen Hamilton, don't worry. Throw that soundtrack on. You've basically seen it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Izzy, you've seen it, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because in high school is when we were taking AP US History, so I was like obsessed with US History, and it was like a flex if you knew all the lyrics to the soundtrack even before seeing it. So I like studied that soundtrack so hard, like front to back. Don't know any of it. Like I know like all the rap. Could never do it.
I am horrible with lyrics in every other aspect of my life. For whatever reason, I think I could do the soundtrack beginning to end. And unfortunately, if you're not interested in hearing me recite the lyrics word for word, this episode might not be. Because I fear that what we're going to have to do is go through each song, share some key details and lyrics, move on to the next song, and there's only 46 of them. Oh. So I do think that's what we're going to have to do. I don't know what ignited this flare up. I've always loved Hamilton. As I said, it was an obsession when it came out, and then it was kind of dormant, just like a casual interest until a few weeks ago. And now, like, if you cut me open, I'd bleed red, white, and blue Betsy Ross's flag. Like, there is something happening. Catch me listening to a song that's not Hamilton, you won't. Okay? Something's going on right now. It's all I think about. The entire show is on Disney Plus. I have now purchased Disney Plus. I have watched it every single night. I don't know what's going on. I think it has something to do with not doing Obsessed last week and just having that energy really, really building up. And I'm looking forward to getting that out today. So let's dive in.
And we're here.
Do you guys know, Kenny, do you know anything about Hamilton just before we get into the show? Because not a lot of people do.
I mean, I know a little bit about Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, tell me.
Based on.
Tell me about him.
I
knew nothing about him before the show.
Yeah, my shaky history, high school level history tells me that he was one of the authors of the Declaration of Independence, right? And other than that, I think that's where the information stops for me. So, yeah. And
that's the thing, like, no one really knew much about Hamilton before the musical, which is so crazy when you learn how much of this country is built off of his ideas. I have goosebumps already. Wow. Okay. So obviously this is written, starred in, directed, everything by Lin Manuel Miranda. He was going on a trip and saw this like massive Hamilton biography in the airport bookstore. And he was like, I'll just pick this up for some light vacation reading. Turns out as he was reading that, I think he was in Puerto Rico, but I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. As he was reading, those words were kind of jumping off the page to him in the form of rap. And that's where Hamilton, the mixtape, was born. Okay. And then slowly that evolved from Hamilton, the mixtape, to the musical that we know today. And something that's so important about the musical is that there are I don't know if there are any besides Jonathan. There's like no white people in the cast. It's all people of color. So this is really just the version of America that we have now, telling the story of America that was. So Lin really put his own spin off on it. Really beautiful. Can't really say enough good things about his brain. Okay. So we open on the song Alexander Hamilton. Okay. This is when Aaron Burr comes out. He's the first person we see. Do you know anything about Aaron?
Don't.
Okay. So Aaron Burr is the person who famously killed Hamilton. They had a duel and he shot Hamilton. And he's the first person that we see on stage telling the story of Alex. And he's wondering, how does a bastard orphan, okay, son of a whore, he is really kind of digging into that right away. How does this guy, he's an immigrant, he basically came from nothing. How is he a founding father? Like, what happened? How did he build the basis of the American banks? Like, how did we get here? And he's saying this is what the story is going to tell. So a little bit about do you mind if I call him Alex?
Please.
Yeah. A little bit about Alex's background. He was born in an island in the Caribbean. His father split when he was young. Okay. Then his mother died. Okay. Then he was sent to live with his cousin. Cousin killed himself. Okay. So Alex is just like completely on his own. So he decided to start writing. Okay. He wrote some beautiful pieces that really captured the attention of the island. And they said, you know what? This kid has got brains on him. And they all raised money to send him to go to school in New York at King's College, which we now know as Columbia. They said, we can't let this kid just sit here. We've got to send him over to the colonies where he's really going to thrive. And that's kind of where we meet Alex getting off of that ship. And then this is still the opening number. Okay. We have Aaron Burr on the stage. We also have George Washington who's saying, I trusted him. Okay. We have his friend, John Lawrence, okay, who was a soldier in the war. He's saying, I died for him. Okay. We have 3 gorgeous women come out. Okay. These are who are known as the Schuyler Sisters. Okay. Some gorgeous, beautiful socialites and feminists in New York. And they're saying, I loved him. Okay. And then Aaron Burr, me, points to himself, I'm the damn fool that shot him. Okay. There's a million things Alex hasn't done. Just you wait. Then we end on his name, Alexander Hamilton.
Wow.
Okay. That's kind of our little intro to Alex. Okay.
Wow.
Then he goes to New York. He gets off the ship. First person he sees when he's in New York, Aaron Burr. Okay. Alex has sought out, and you don't mind if I call him Alex, do you?
No, please.
Okay, yeah,
please, yeah.
Okay. He has sought out Aaron Burr because he has heard that that Burr has managed to graduate college very quickly, okay, and kind of elevated himself in the academic scene. And Hamilton wants to know, hey, how'd you do that? And I'd like to know a little bit more about you. And so they're able to connect because they're both orphans. And that's really important to Hamilton because that's something that I think he feels insecure about. So finding that in someone that seems very successful, I think that's kind of like an instant connection that Hamilton was kind of able to make with Burr. And they really start off as pretty good friends. And Burr offers him one piece of advice because he can tell right away, right off the bat, Hamilton is chatty. He's telling him everything that he wants. And Burr says, let me stop you right there. I need you to talk less. Smile more. Do not let anyone know what you stand for. Okay? If you want to get ahead, just shut up. Because people who run their mouths, they wind up dead. Okay? Which, as we know, because the show opened with that, he does wind up dead.
Ominous.
And who killed him?
That guy.
Yeah. And so we can assume that.
I wanted to say Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah, Bill Burr. And we know that he shot him. So we can almost start to think Alex may have been running his mouth. Okay, a little bit of foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, I want to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Book of the Month. You guys know how much I love reading, and Book of the Month somehow figures out how to pick like the 5 best books of the month that everybody is going to end up talking about on Book Talk the next month. So it's a really good opportunity to get ahead of the game and try something that you might not try. So here I am telling you guys about Book of the Month. Book of the Month's mission is to share the best new fiction with their audience. They focus on finding emerging authors that allow members to find books they may not have found on their own or online. With Book of the Month, everyone gets to pick from the same selection of curated books so you can read the same books as your friends, family, or book club. I love the variety you get when joining Book of the Month. The subscription usually includes a diverse range of genres and authors, so it appeals to all kinds of readers. My September book is Blue Sisters by Coco Malors. It's about 3 strange siblings that return to their family home in New York after their sister's death. And subscribers often get special deals, discounts, or early access to books. There's nothing more convenient than a book coming right to your door. If you guys are interested in trying Book of the Month and reading with me, you can get your first book in September for just $5 with the code CARDIGAN. And when you sign up, make sure to select Obsessed with Brooke in the survey after enrolling to let them know I sent you. Again, head to bookofthemonth.com and use code CARDIGAN in all caps to get your first September book for $5. Hey guys, we're going to take a break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, SeatGeek. Summer's officially here, and it's the perfect time to get started exploring your city's events and getting out of the house. I've been loving Sabrina's new album, and I have to see her on tour. That's why I need to tell you about my special hookup from today's sponsor, SeatGeek. Everyone can use my code OWB10 and get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. Sports, concerts, festivals, you name it. There are so many artists touring right now, including Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, The Marias, Charlie XCX, and Noah Kahan, and SeatGeek has you covered. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. No matter how many times you've bought tickets using SeatGeek before, OWB10 is going to get you 10% off your next order. So take out your phone, open the SeatGeek app, and add code OWB10 to your account. What are you waiting for? Do it now because this offer is only available for a limited time. Now we're in the bar, okay? Enter bar. We meet some young men who are key parts of the revolution. Hamilton, Lafayette, Hercules Mulligan, gorgeous spy on the inside.
Wow,
okay?
what a name.
Yep. And John Lawrence, who we saw at the beginning briefly, who he said, I died for him when talking about Alexander Hamilton. So we see all these young men of the revolution meeting in the bar. They're broing out. They're having the time of their lives talking about how they're going to change the country, shape the nation. They're singing a song called My Shot while taking shots, okay? So Alex is saying, I will not throw away my shot. Any opportunity that comes my way, I'm going to grab it, okay? I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, hungry. I'm not throwing away my shot. Enter Burr. He says, you guys seriously cannot stress this enough. You need to shut the fuck up right now. You're going to get yourself into trouble. And everyone's like, Burr, like, if you stand for nothing, like, what are you going to fall for? And it's very clear here that Alexander and Aaron Burr have very different attitudes towards kind of this new country that's forming. Hamilton is just ready to seize the revolution, take any opportunity that comes his way. He is not afraid to speak out. And Burr is just like, I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And I am not taking a stand because that's going to get me in trouble. And like my self-control on the matter is what's going to get me ahead.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions so far?
I was just going to say, I read a U.S. history book like last year, and I remember reading, I think New York at the time was full of loyalists to England. So
Yeah.
I think maybe that's some imagery of the at play there with, like, you know, not wanting to speak out too much in a hostile environment. I don't know if that.
No, that's
yeah.
100%. Burr literally did not want to upset anyone.
Yeah.
So he literally just didn't let anyone know what he stood for. And honestly, like towards the end, kind of like spoiler alert, he literally just like takes a stance based off of what he knows is going to get him ahead. Like he doesn't have any principles of his own, which is like why he's not saying anything now. Yeah. Or he does have principles, but it's just like they're not strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So our boys are off the bottle right now. They are taking shots. And then this gorgeous song called The Story of Tonight is basically when the boys are taking shots and saying everyone is going to remember this night. They're going to tell stories about tonight because this is the night that like we are raising a glass to freedom. Like we are starting the revolution. Okay. And this is going to be passed down from generations and generations. When telling the story of this war, like they'll tell the story of tonight, which is beautiful. And I love that song. Here come the girls. Okay. We are in, I think, honestly, this is the town square, which maybe is Times Square now.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
I don't know. But This song is called the Schuyler Sisters. If you guys have not listened to Hamilton, I think this is the first song that kind of really reeled me in because it's like there's no rap involved, which you know me. It took me a second to kind of warm up to that. We've got Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy. They're the sisters, and they are looking for a mind at work, okay? Angelica especially, she's kind of leading the charge. She is, especially for the time, very forward-thinking, especially for a woman at the time who were told, like, you're really not supposed to do anything besides, like, support the men in your life. She is looking for a man that shares her ideals. She is ready for the revolution. Her and Eliza are really just, they keep saying, like, we are so lucky to be alive right now. Like, look around. Like, this is the revolution. It's happening. We're witnessing it. We are witnessing history in Manhattan. It's the greatest city in the world. Like, we are just so lucky. And Angelica has been reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Okay? Some may say that it's intense or she's insane, but she wants a revolution. She's not afraid to let everyone know that. Okay? She's not afraid. And she would even go ahead and encourage Thomas Jefferson to include women in the sequel to the Declaration of Independence. So we're kind of seeing very forward feminist thinking in Angelica specifically. And she is going to continue her search for that man with kind of that mind that she's looking for. Does anyone come to mind right now that she might be looking for?
Her mind at work.
Maybe someone like Alexander Hamilton?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's somebody that she would get along with. Okay. Now, Kenny, to what you were saying.
Yeah.
British Loyalists. The next song is called Farmer Refuted, which for me, it used to be one of those songs. It's like if I'm listening to the Hamilton soundtrack in the shower and it came on, like I would brave the cold to get out of the shower and skip the song.
Wow.
Okay? Because we just have like a British loyalist, as you were saying, who's like, just, I don't want you to listen to a word that any of the rebels are saying. We got to be loyal to the British. And then Alex comes in and is like, completely shuts him down. And then Burr comes in and is like, Alex, shut up. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's kind of what we see, a brief glimmer of those British loyalists there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we have the one and only Jonathan Groff as the king, King George. He steps out. It's just him on stage. He is cloaked to the gods in a very heavy cape, very heavy hat, gorgeous powdered wig. Okay, he's looking absolutely to die for. And he sings what I would consider, and I think most people would consider, it's a breakup anthem. Okay, it's called "You'll Be Back." He comes out 3 times and basically sings to the people who are rebelling against him. And in this song, he's saying, you know what? Like, you can have your tantrum right now, but you'll be back. I'm not worried about it. We have been through so much together. And like at the end of the day, like when push comes to shove, like I will kill your friends and family just to remind you how much I love you. Which is sweet and very much kind of like toxic relationship, which we all can relate to, you know?
Absolutely.
And he's soaking wet.
Yeah. And he was literally, Kenny, this is when I think people really kind of understood how wet this man could get. And Lin wanted, or Disney Plus wanted to cut this out of the film version. And Lin was like, absolutely not. He literally, it's like almost like he's throwing up. Like he's like spit, like unbelievable. Like you've never seen it before. Okay. Actually so much spit that it's actually just sitting on his cape throughout the rest of the performance.
Imagine sitting front row for that.
No, like
crazy.
I saw him spit in real life front row. It was nothing like the spit during "You'll Be Back."
So he's really putting his full throat into it.
Yeah,
his lungs.
He's putting it all into it. It's absolutely gorgeous and spectacular.
Yeah.
He's also like wet as he comes out, so it's like clear he was practicing backstage.
He is like literally comes out glistening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like before he opens his mouth, he's like so
right. A lot of people think
man.
it's just spit. No, it's sweat. It's coming from everywhere.
Wow,
so yeah,
okay.
he's a wet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I really
Our
love.
wet king.
He's literally our wet king. Really good, Kenny. Okay, here we are. Now we are on the battlefield. This is the song Right Hand Man, and we are introduced to George Washington, who at this time is the general, And he is played by Christopher Jackson, who is also in Moana, which is also music by Lin, and that he has got a voice that literally makes the hairs on my arm stand up. I think he is probably the most talented vocal. When I say that, I'm not talking about Jonathan, okay? Probably the most talented vocalist. And I'm also not talking about any of the women. Let's just say he's talented, okay? He's very talented. He's freaking out right now, okay? Their army is outnumbered, okay? Outmanned, outgunned, okay? Outplanned. He's feeling completely lost, doesn't know what to do. What he needs is a right-hand man, okay? He's in his office freaking out. Burr walks in, knowing that Washington's kind of looking for this right-hand man, and very kind of like soft-spokenly is like, hey, General, like, I have like maybe like a couple of suggestions. Like, I really like the way that you're like firing the cannons from a distance, which I think he like obviously like doesn't like that because it's stupid, but like he's just trying to butter him up. And then in the middle of Burr just like being soft-spoken, Hamilton kind of barges in, and Washington's like, oh, thank God you're here. Burr, would you mind shutting the door on your way out? Okay. So this is kind of the first time we really see like Alex stepping on Burr's toes. Okay. And Washington offers Hamilton the position to be his right-hand man in this war. And Hamilton really he's already turned down multiple propositions to be somebody's right-hand man because he wants to be on the field. He doesn't want to be manning anyone's journal. He doesn't want to be dealing with correspondence, even though people know he's a great writer. Like, he wants to be like on the front lines, but he accepts because it's George Washington and he's a very well-respected commander. And he kind of takes that sacrifice because at the end of the day, he's not throwing away his shot. And this is one of his shots. So he is now Washington's right-hand man.
Wow.
Okay. Now let's fast forward to the ball, if we may. Hamilton is a ladies' man. That's undeniable. Okay. He knows it. His friends know it. The ladies know it. We all know it. Okay. So him and Burr and the guys are singing about the ball that's going on tonight, and Hamilton's really looking forward to the fact that he might be able to nab a Schuyler sister, who are the girls that were singing in the town square earlier about looking for a mind at work. Okay? Because if you nab one of them, it's kind of like clout chasing. Okay? Because their dad is a big socialite and also a senator. I don't know if he's a senator yet, but he becomes a senator. So if you grab a Schuyler sister, like you can work your way up, and also I think they're hot too. So that's good. It's a win-win for everyone. Okay. And you would become rich. And the thing about Alexander is he doesn't have a dollar to his name. Okay. Here we go. We are now at the ball. I want you to kind of think of me and the waiter as we enter this song called Helpless. Okay. If you need help envisioning just like how addicted Eliza becomes on site to Hamilton, think of me walking into the restaurant venue and seeing the waiter. Okay?
Wow.
You might be thinking, I thought it was going to be Angelica that's kind of expressing her love for Hamilton. It's actually Eliza who sees him on site. She breaks into a song. She is completely helpless. One look in his eyes, she's toast. So we kind of see Angelica and Hamilton talking in the corner, and you're like, oh no, like which sister is it going to be? But Angelica brings him over to Eliza, and they're introduced, and then it's game over. They start corresponding in letters. 2 weeks later, he asks her father for permission, and they're actually married. Yeah, they're married right on site. 2 weeks later, after she first saw him at the ball.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh,
Things
gosh.
kind of moved fast then. And he promises her, like, hey, Eliza, like, I do not have a dollar to my name, but I'm going to provide for you and I'm going to take care of you. And you can count on me. Okay? Keep that in mind. You can count on me. Okay? Now, here we are at the wedding. This is probably the best song in Hamilton. It's called Satisfied. And this is Angelica's toast at the wedding to the bride and to the groom. And Angelica is Eliza's sister. She takes us back to the night of the ball in her toast. Okay, she's cheersing. May you guys always be satisfied. Let me rewind for a second, take you back to the night of that ball and show you that night through my POV. What happened when I introduced Eliza to Alex. First thing she says, I regret that night. I will regret that night for the rest of my days. Like, I saw him and I also was like, damn. Like, I kind of am, I'm kind of smitten. They started talking and she finally, like, for the first time was like, wow, like, this is someone that has matched my wits. This is the mind at work that I've been looking for. And then Alex says to her, like, hey, listen, Angelica, you strike me as a woman who will never be satisfied. Okay. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm actually completely fine. But now she's kind of realizing, oh shit, maybe he was right because I kind of set him up with my sister. And I am kind of regretting that. But here's the thing. She realized 3 fundamental truths all at the same time. Okay, as she was introducing Alex to Eliza. Number 1, she's a girl in a world in which her only job is to marry rich. So she really couldn't marry him because her job as like the oldest daughter of this socialite is to social climb and to clout chase, if you will. So she really couldn't marry someone that didn't have money anyway. Okay. Second thing is she's kind of realizing he's probably only after me because I'm a Schuyler. So he's trying to clout chase me. I've got to clout chase someone else. He's trying to clout chase me. Like, it's probably not a good match, even though I'm addicted to him. Okay. The third thing, and probably the most important, is that she knows her sister and she knows that if she told her, like, I'm actually in love with Alex too, then Eliza would be like, oh, then you have him. Okay. It's okay. And she doesn't want that. Like, she wants her sister to be happy. She loves her sister more than anything. So she gives him to Eliza. She is devastated that she will not be with him, but at least she gets to keep his eyes in her life through having him marry Eliza. And she settles for that. And at the end, she cheers. She cheers us to the happy couple. And she says, I hope you're always satisfied. Eliza will be happy. Alex will never be satisfied because I know him and he's just like me and I will never be satisfied. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen is Eliza will be fine, but I won't be fine. And I don't know if Alex will ever be satisfied. Any questions?
Well, you describing these sisters, it seems like their bond is really strong because they're willing to sacrifice for each other.
Exactly.
But just points out the patriarchy at play, if I can use that word.
And you may.
Her first rule, she's got to marry rich. That's her first mistake.
Yeah.
Well, not her mistake, but that's the hurdle there that she can't get over.
That's the
sad.
Hurdle. Those 3 fundamental truths.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is sad. But Eliza's I can't stress enough how great Eliza is. You know, and I'm happy that she got the man that she was looking for. I only wish that it had kind of ended better for her, and we'll kind of see that as the play progresses. Okay, now we have the reprise of Story of Tonight. Okay, we've got the boys drinking again, as they like to do. Burr comes over to congratulate Hamilton. He was at Hamilton's wedding. You know, they're good friends. And Burr is kind of talking about his romantic life, and he's got a woman on the side. Actually, her name is Theodora. And Hamilton's like, oh, like, why aren't you guys together? What's going on? And Burr is like, well, you know, she's actually married to a British officer. So it would be illegal for me to kind of move forward with pursuing her. And Hamilton is like, Burr, like, go, like, if you love her, like, go do something. And he obviously, he doesn't. And this is when we get kind of his big song, which is called Wait For It. Which is when he kind of expresses his attitude towards everything, which is like, I am literally just going to wait for everything to come to me because everyone in my life that I've loved has died. And so there has to be a reason that, like, I'm still alive. And it's probably because, like, I have not gotten involved in anything. So I'm just going to sit here, sit back, relax, shut my mouth, and not take any unnecessary risks. Remember that TikTok sound that was like, don't take any unnecessary whatever? That one, like, that reminds me of Burr. Like, he's just like, he's going to wait for it. Okay. He's not going to do anything that would jeopardize his life or his reputation. He's not going to be like Hamilton. He's the opposite of Hamilton. Hamilton exhibits no restraint, no self-control. Burr is completely like measured, controlled, and that is what he thinks is going to get him to be successful. Okay. Now we're kind of entering like the very big war piece of the show, which is when I kind of start to understand the plot a little bit less. Okay, kind of those battles and what's happening in those battles. But basically, Hamilton is getting frustrated at this time that he is just kind of manning George's journal. George, you mind if I call him George?
Please.
Yeah.
By all means.
He's kind of just manning George's journal. And he wants to lead a group on the battlefield. Like, he does not want to be writing letters. So when one of the commanders named Charles Lee, he starts shit-talking Washington, okay? And he also gets a lot of men killed on the field. Hamilton gets pissed off because it's like, first of all, you suck at your job. Like, I'm sitting here like writing letters and you have like this dream job and you're so bad at it and you're shit-talking my dear friend, who I'm his right-hand man, George, the love of my life. Like, you suck. And then Lawrence, who is Hamilton's like best buddy. And also they were rumored to be lovers too. Which This is not in the play, but I would actually like a separate play about that.
Wow.
Personally, yeah. But Lawrence is like, hey, Lee, I'm going to challenge you to a duel right now because you're such an idiot. And Washington had warned them, like, just like, do not engage with him. Like, I don't care if anyone's shit talking me. Like, do not disobey my orders. Like, leave Lee alone. Okay. Obviously, they're not going to do that. They're going to duel, which is when we get into the song, the 10 Duel Commandments. We don't need to get into all of the commandments, but basically the rules of the duel are that you spend like a lot of time trying to figure out if you can solve the problem without dueling, okay? If that is not a possibility, then you can duel, okay? Even when you are on that field with your guns drawn, you're going to send in your seconds, see if they can maybe negotiate something. It is literally the last resort to duel. It's very rare that it gets to that point, is basically kind of what the song is saying, okay? Most disputes die and no one shoots, is the moral of the story. And then Burr was the second to Lee, and Hamilton was on Lawrence's side, and so they kind of connect to try to negotiate peace in this duel. And Burr says, can we just agree that dueling is like so stupid and we don't need to do this? Which, foreshadowing, like, really? Right. Really, Burr? Do you mean it?
Little hypocritical.
Yeah, a little hypocritical, okay? And then Hamilton's like, well, I mean, sure, but like this guy like has to answer for what he's done. Like he's literally so horrible. And so Lawrence shoots him, okay? So they do duel. Shots are fired. Don't know if he ends up dying. He definitely ends up getting shot. And Washington ends up getting really pissed because Hamilton disobeyed his direct orders. And he sends Hamilton home, which is like Hamilton's worst nightmare, to like be away from the war and everything that's going on, because it is like, that's his shot, you know? And Washington sent him home. So he's depressed, okay? Hey guys, we're taking a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Squarespace. I love Squarespace because it's the user-friendly platform that allows people and businesses to create professional websites without the need for technical knowledge or coding skills. Whether you're just starting out or managing your growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create, sell, and engage with your audience all in one place. You can start a completely personalized website with new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. Choose from professionally curated layouts and styling options to build a unique online presence, tailored to your brand or business, and optimized for every device. Then, easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated, optimized SEO tools so you show up more often to more people and grow the way you want. You also have the option to sell content with Squarespace. Just add a paywall to sell memberships, courses, and files your customers can download, like PDFs, music, or ebooks. If you're not looking to sell, try their video collection. Upload video content, organize your video library, and showcase your content on video pages. You can even add a paywall to your content to sell access to your video library. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/OWB to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/OWB to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is when we learn that Eliza, who is Hamilton's wife at this point, is pregnant. So she sings a song to him. It's gorgeous. It's called That Would Be Enough. And she says, literally all I ask of you is to just come home at the end of the day. That would be enough. If I could just have like a second of your time, like I'd really appreciate it. I don't care about money. I don't care about your legacy. Like I don't care about what you do. If you could just give me like a speck of attention and like stick around to raise your kids. Like that's all, like below bare minimum. That would be enough. And he's like, maybe. Okay. I think maybe that's something that I can do. Okay. Then we get into some more battle scenes. It's kind of clear that the war is amping up here. Okay. America is struggling. How are we going to win this war? Enter this song, Guns and Ships, a gorgeous rap by Lafayette, who's played by Daveed Diggs, who is so talented and perfect. And I have a lot of feelings for him. Okay. The rap that he raps in this song, it's not human. Like he's doing a French accent. He's going at the speed of light. I couldn't even, like, if I spent 20 years trying to master that rap, I couldn't. Like, it's like he's a force of nature.
It's like 6.6 words per minute, which I think is like the fastest Broadway rap.
Fastest Broadway rap, okay, as Izzy said, in a French accent. It's so insane.
Yeah.
Okay. He's basically rapping like, here's what we need. We need some guns. We need some ships. But most importantly, we need Hamilton. Okay. We can't really win this war without him. Okay. Hamilton comes back, doesn't even think about leaving Eliza, his pregnant wife. He's like, I'm headed out. Okay. Headed back to war. You're good. Okay. You're good. Perfect. And we have a gorgeous song that takes place here by Washington called History Has Its Eyes on You. Okay. Where he's basically just saying, this is your chance. Show us what you got. Okay. Show us what you're working with. Win us this war. And you know what? Hamilton did. We have a song called Yorktown, which is when the world turned upside down. Okay. That's when they won the war. Details of the battle to me are a little bit fuzzy, just due to me not understanding them at all. But basically, Hamilton, she stole some cannons and did some other things that were really good. Okay. Really good in the sense that they won America the war, which is like kind of a big deal. And like, we're not kind of thinking about Hamilton in that light of like winning us the war, which is kind of crazy because he really did so much. I don't really know how. Okay. Even though the song lays it out in detail. Okay. Can't really grasp those details, but I did feel like I was there. So that was nice. Genuinely, the song is so good. You don't need to understand the lyrics. You don't need to understand what's going on. Because it makes you, it's just the feeling. Like I literally, when I'm listening to the song, I am in the trenches. I'm stealing the cannons, and I am winning the Revolutionary War. I am waving Betsy Ross's flag. Like, yeah, I really feel like I'm there. This song is one of the best ones, Yorktown. Okay, now we have another appearance from Jonathan, where he's like, okay, like awesome. Like, what comes next though? Like, I don't think you guys realize how hard it is to lead. So like, you're on your own. Good luck. You're going to fail, basically. Okay. Now, Hamilton and Burr are both home from the war, and they both are new fathers.
And just a quick question. Is this like, what act are we in now? Is this?
We are still in the first act.
Oh, this is still the first.
Yeah,
okay.
This is still the first act,
Great.
but I've picked up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
And now we're on the 22nd song of the first act. Okay. So we're about to close out the first act.
Got it.
Because each act has 23 songs, which gives us a total of 46. Okay.
Cool.
This song is called Dear Theodosia. So it turns out Aaron Burr did kind of nab his girl. Not that she's her property. She's his property in any sense of the word, but he did get with that girl that he was into. Her name is Theodosia. Now he has a daughter that's also named Theodosia. Hamilton has a son named Philip, and they're singing to their kids just to express their dedication as fathers, because both of their fathers weren't around. So they're going to be around for their kids, and they're going to build this nation for their kids so that they have something that they can pass down to their kids. And this is all kind of like part of their legacy. It's all for them. And then this is the only thing in the musical that is not in the soundtrack. Hamilton gets a letter from Lawrence's dad, and Lawrence is his best buddy, rumored to be lover, that Lawrence, when the war was over, like on his way back home, got in a gunfight and died. which is just like so tragic because like he made it through the whole war. He had plans of he had grand plans to speak out against slavery, and he died on the way home. And that's not in the soundtrack, which I really wish it was because it is
not?
No.
Oh, weird.
It's so heartbreaking.
Who shot him on the way home?
Just
Do we
like,
know?
British.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, British were going home. Everyone was headed home.
Yeah.
But like animosity, I guess, is still kind of tensions were high.
Right.
And so they got in a gunfight and Lawrence died, and that's really sad. Yeah, definitely very sad. Okay, now we have probably the most, I would say this is the like a climax, if you will. This is the end of Act 1. This song, it's literally like, it's impossible not to like stand up when the song is on. Like I almost can't listen to it when I'm driving because it's a hazard. This is the, that meme that's like, oh, car wreck, and like this is the song that was playing. Yeah. This is my car wreck song. Okay? It's called Nonstop, and it's about like what's happening once the war is over. Hamilton completely throws himself into his work. He's a lawyer. He works next to Burr. They actually work together on a lot of different cases. Hamilton is obviously like very loud in court, and Burr is there like, you literally just like say less. I'm begging you to just say less. Hamilton asks Burr for help defending the Constitution, which is something that they're working on. And Burr is like, I'm actually not really comfortable doing that right now. And Hamilton is like, I'm literally just like so confused because like, do you stand for literally anything? Like, we fought this whole war and you're not even gonna like anonymously defend the Constitution. And Burr is like, nah, I'm not doing that right now. Okay. So honestly, like I am confused. Like, how did people even know who Burr was if he was like not even willing to take, he could not take a stand. Okay. Could not take any sort of stand. Okay. He is taking his time watching the afterbirth of a nation. That's what he says he's doing, which like, okay. Like, how are you anything?
Complete passenger.
He's passenger. He's like no backbone.
Yeah.
Angelica lets everyone know that she's found someone finally who's rich and is going to take care of her, and he's so boring, but like it doesn't matter. So she's going to move to London with him. So she heads off. Eliza is back just begging for like just a second of Alexander's time. And he is like, I actually cannot give you any of that right now because I'm working on these papers. So this is actually a part of history that I didn't know about until Hamilton, the Federalist Papers. Okay. I didn't know the Federalists were a party. Okay. That was Hamilton's party. He created the Federalist Party. Okay. Which is like crazy to create a political party. And we weren't even like talking about Hamilton. Like, whoa. Okay. So he was busy doing that and writing the Federalist Papers. They were only supposed to write about like 20 of them. But Hamilton wrote 51, and that's a great moment in the soundtrack when Burr screams, Hamilton wrote the other 51, and that is when I start to stand up. Okay, is when Burr lets us know that Hamilton wrote 51. In the grand scheme of things, like that doesn't mean a lot to me that he wrote some papers, but it is also the most meaningful thing in the world to me that Hamilton wrote the other 51. Okay, and I can't stress that enough. And I want to call this episode "Obsessed with Hamilton Writing the Other 51." Okay. Okay, yeah. So Eliza is just like, it would really mean a lot to me if you could just stay alive, begging for 1 second of your time. And he's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then Washington is like, hey, like I am the president now. You are my right-hand man at the war. I am asking you to be my right-hand man right now. I totally understand that you need a second to think about it because it's obviously like you'll be leaving your family to come work for me. He goes, let me stop you right there. Do you need me to work for the Treasury or the state? Do not need to think about it. Let me know. Okay? So he doesn't take a second to think about it. He is now the Secretary of the Treasury. And he goes back to Eliza. He goes, I'm going to head out. Okay? I am actually going to head out right now. Okay? And she's going, Alex, and now this is when everyone starts breaking into a different song that has already been sung in the show. And they all come together in perfect harmony. Okay. We've got Angelica to the side saying like, he will never be satisfied. We've got Eliza saying like, when will it be enough? Like, will it be enough? Like, I'm helpless. When will it be enough? We've got George Washington saying history has its eyes on you. We've got Hamilton saying he's not throwing away his shot. Literally, can you zoom in on the hairs in my arm standing up? Okay. Yeah. Everyone is uniting in this gorgeous chorus of all of the songs that have led us to this point. Song ends with Alex just going, I am not throwing away my shot. Fade to black, intermission.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in.
Any questions?
I'm fully on board.
You're fully on board?
I feel this like patriotism that you were describing.
Are you bleeding red, white, and blue?
Absolutely.
Me too. Okay.
It couldn't get crazier though in Act 2, could it?
Shit's definitely about to start hitting the fan. Okay, let's just leave it at that. The great part about Act 2 is that we lose some of the characters. That's not great. Okay, we lose Lawrence dies, Lafayette goes back to France, but the actors stay and they become different key historical figures. So Daveed Diggs, who was Lafayette, who did that rap that we're addicted to, he's now Thomas Jefferson. Okay, the young man who played Hercules Mulligan, who we don't give Hercules Mulligan actually enough credit. He was a spy on the inside, so he helped us out a lot. So I do want to thank Hercules Mulligan for his time. Okay, and so now he's back as James Madison, and the guy who played John Lawrence, who's Anthony Ramos, who is just, I adore him. He was in Twisters actually, and I was feeling like I was in love with him.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's who plays Lawrence. He's now Philip Hamilton's son.
Okay.
Okay, so they all come back, which is sweet. It's really good to see them. So the first song in Act 2 is What Did I Miss? Which is Thomas Jefferson coming back from France. He's been in France this whole time, and he's like, Did I miss anything? Just let me know. Great song. And James Madison is like, yeah, you actually miss like this guy Hamilton. He like blows. Like, they can't stand him. This is kind of like when the division of the parties starts happening. So we've got Hamilton is a Federalist. Okay. He's kind of like government centric. Okay. And then we've got the Democratic Republicans who are Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, who are kind of like hands off. And this is the most that I've ever known about politics. So then this is when we get into the cabinet battles, which are like the raps, which like show what happened behind closed doors when they were trying to pass laws. And I'm not going to lie, Kenny, it's a little bit tricky to follow. Okay. A little bit tricky to follow what's going on. To my understanding, it's just a lot of like Hamilton being like, we have got to make the banks. And then Jefferson is like, no, we don't. And Hamilton is like, we really do.
Yeah.
Okay. That is my summary of the cabinet battles.
And they're rapping at each other.
Mm-hmm. And they're it's really, it's great. I love it. Don't know what's going on per se exactly to the T, but you definitely kind of get the gist of it. Hamilton and Jefferson are at odds. Hamilton tells Jefferson to turn around and bend over, and he'll show him where his shoe fits, all that good stuff. I think basically Jefferson is just like, the government should not really be involved in our money. Like, that's exactly what was happening with the British. Like, why would we want that? And Hamilton makes some good rebuttals that I don't really follow. So that's good. He's basically like, you were in France. Like, what? Like, you can't say anything, which is kind of true. Okay. Then we have the song Take a Break, which is kind of our introduction to Philip, Hamilton's son. He's turning 9 today. Okay. I don't know if Hamilton's spent even one day with him so far. So he's kind of learning this gorgeous piece on the piano with Eliza teaching him, and they're counting in French, which is going to be important later. They're going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I took French, you guys, in case you couldn't tell, which came in a lot of handy during this. And so Philip is creating this beautiful piece on the piano. And he actually raps for Hamilton. He's like, look, Dad, I can write too. And it's this really sweet moment. And then Hamilton's like, oh, like, wait, like, you're actually like, I've got a good kid. I haven't met him really, but he seems like a good kid. And then Angelica and Eliza are like, Hamilton, like, please, like, take a break. Like, Thomas Jefferson spends the summers with his family. Like, just come upstate with us for just a second. Like, it doesn't have to be the whole summer. Take a break. And Alex is like, literally can't. Like, he is writing like he's running out of time, okay? He is obsessed with his legacy and leaving things behind and writing things down, and he needs to get this plan about the banks through Congress, so he will not be leaving to go with his family upstate, okay? So he's going to stay for the summer, and that's when we get into trouble, Kenny. We've got Hamilton. He's alone in the city for the summer, and you know what they say about summers in the city. There's nothing like them.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, nothing like them. So we see, Hamilton's working away at his desk. He has not slept for a week. Okay, he has not slept for a week. He was weak. He was awake. You had literally never seen a bastard orphan more in need of a break. He was longing for Angelica, missing his wife also too. And that's when Miss Mariah Reynolds walked into his life. Okay, and Miss Mariah Reynolds is a young woman who's played by the same actress who played Peggy, the third Schuyler sister.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so she comes back. This is kind of when shit hits the fan. We've got Miss Maria Reynolds walking into Hamilton's life. And she's like, well, I don't have any money right now. I don't want to walk home alone. Like, I'm scared. Do you mind just like escorting me home, please? And Hamilton's like, yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll walk you home. And then she's like, okay, great. Like, now that you're here, like, you might as well just like hop into my bed for just a quick second. Okay.
Tuck her in.
Yeah. Not a big deal. Okay. And the whole song is Hamilton just like, please. It's called Say No to This. He's like, please, Lord, show me how to say no to this. I do not know how to say no to this. Okay. At the end of the day, he does not say no to this. He moves forward with diving headfirst into Miss Maria Reynolds' bed piece. Okay. So he is kind of starting that affair up. And then he receives a letter, okay, in the mail from a Mr. James Reynolds, okay, Maria Reynolds' husband. It says, "Dear Sir, hope this letter finds you in good health and in a prosperous enough position to put wealth in the pockets of people like me down on their luck. You see, that was my wife you decided to. You know what, okay? That was my wife. So, like, here's the thing. You can keep seeing her, actually. I'm just going to need a payment up front, okay? So Hamilton goes back to Maria Reynolds and he's like, you extorted me. Like, you like suck. I hate you. And she's like, no, I literally had nothing to do with it. Like, let's just keep this going and you can just pay him. And it's like all good. Like, just Venmo him out. It's not a big deal. So he's like, all right, that sounds good, actually. And so then he starts kind of like, he moves forward with a payment plan with James Reynolds, and he just
afterpay
a little afterpay Venmo transaction, PayPal, Zelle, etc. To Mr. James Reynolds just over the course of the next few years, kind of paying to sleep with his wife.
That's
okay?
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like he's still, he still loves Eliza, still loves Angelica. He just couldn't say no to this continuously over time for years. Just a slight lapse in judgment. Okay.
Just an indulgence.
Yeah, just a brief indulgence for multiple years that he's paying for. Okay. Then we finally have that meeting with Hamilton and Jefferson and Madison about the banks. Okay. Shit goes down in this meeting. Okay. This is the room where it happens. Hamilton gets that bank bill passed. Okay. The banks are set up in New York City. All he had to do was give the capital away because New York used to be the capital. And now he's like, I can give that to DC, or I don't think it was DC at the time, Virginia. I'm selling the capital down the river. That's good in exchange for me to have the banks. I'm all good with that. Everyone's happy. And then Burr is like, wait, what happened behind closed doors? Like, tell me what happened in that meeting. And Hamilton's basically like, it's none of your business. Like, it's all good. And this is the moment when Burr is like, okay, I actually do need to start to get into that room. I need to be in the room where it happens. And that's a great song by Burr, The Room Where It Happens. And this is the moment his kind of Burr's come to Jesus that he's like, I maybe have to start shifting my attitude and my mentality around a little bit if I want to get into that room. Okay. So now we have Philip, Hamilton's son, with the newspaper, and he's like, oh my God, look, Mom, our grandpa, who was a senator, just lost his seat in the Senate. There's a new senator. And everyone's like, oh shit, like, who took his spot? Burr. Okay. Burr had actually ran against Mr. Schuyler okay, and took Hamilton's father-in-law's seat in the Senate, and he ran as a Democratic Republican, even though he, you know, had allegiances that, I mean, I guess he didn't really voice them because he's weak. But, you know, he had, you know, had allegiances to Hamilton and the Federalist Party this whole time, but ran as a Democratic Republican because he knew like that's what would get him the seat. And Hamilton is really, really, really pissed. Okay. And this is kind of what begins like their feud. And Burr is like, I will literally just like do what it takes to get ahead. Like, I don't care about my values. Okay. Then we've got another cabinet battle. Basically, the question on the table is, should we help France fight against the British? And Hamilton is like, not at all. Okay, we can't. We're too fragile. And Jefferson is like, we have to. Like, I'm addicted to France, and like they helped us. It would be wrong for us not to help them. And then Washington is siding with Hamilton. He always sides with Hamilton. You know, that's his right-hand man. And that obviously pisses off Jefferson and Madison and the others who are wanting to help France. And they sing a song called Washington on Your Side. And they basically are like, it must be really nice, okay? Must be nice to always have Washington on your side. And they start to plot, how are we going to take down Hamilton? Because like they are like done with his shit, okay? And so they decide to dig up some dirt on him, okay? Any idea what they might find, Kenny?
I'm thinking, I forget her name, Maria? Marie?
Yeah, Maria Reynolds.
They might hit up the husband.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Put a pin in that, because now we have, I think, my favorite song on the soundtrack, which is One Last Time. This is when Washington steps down for running for president. And Hamilton is like, no, you can't. That's not how it works. Like, you can't do that. And Washington is like, it has to be how it works. Because like, if I don't step down, like the country won't be able to figure out what happens when I die. Like, they need to learn how to move on now. Okay. The country needs to learn how to outlive me when I'm gone. Okay. So this song is basically like, let's have a drink one last time. Okay. Let's cheers it out. The people are going to hear from us one last time. And then Hamilton writes his address, his farewell address. It's about 89,000 pages. They read a little bit of it, which is actually the real farewell address that Hamilton wrote in real life. And, you know, the nation learns to move on. Okay. And let's pour it out. Let's pour it out for the nation. Okay. Now we have John Adams is president now. And the king comes out and sings a song. And he's basically like, wait, John Adams, like that like little twerp that I met like a few years ago? Like, you're absolutely kidding. Like, good luck with that. Your nation's about to like crumble, and like I can't wait to watch. Like, this isn't going to work out. You guys have no idea what you're doing. Okay. So now we're fully in the Adams administration. Washington is gone. Hamilton's out. Okay. No one likes Hamilton. It was really Washington that kept him in there. Hamilton has like nothing to lose now. So he loves writing. He's a big writer. So he basically is writing this paper that's like, John, you're a fat motherfucker. Like, go to hell. I fucking hate you. Like, yay, and all that. So, yeah, he pisses people off, definitely. And so that is when they kind of dig up that dirt on him, and they call him in. It's Jefferson and Madison and Burr. And they're like, we know what you did. We dug up these charges of you paying of your Venmo history. We can see your Venmo history. All these transactions to James Reynolds. Okay. You are stealing from from your banks. Okay. You're embezzling, and we've got you. And Hamilton is like, oh my God. Like, no, I'm just cheating. Like, I would never do that. Like, here's the proof. Here's the letter that he wrote me. Like, I'm just sleeping with another woman. Like, it ain't no thing. Okay. I would never cheat on my country. Like, my country is like, this is the love of my life. Like, it's all good. I have not sullied my name. Just committing adultery. Okay. So he's like, do you promise you won't tell anyone about my affair? And everyone's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're fine. Whatever. We all do it. And then he's like, Burr, do you really, really swear that you won't tell anyone? And Burr is essentially like, I mean, like, I won't, but you know how rumors go. Like, they only grow. Okay. And we both know, we both know what you did here. Okay. Enter Alex kind of going into a bit of a spiral. Okay. And here's the song Hurricane. Okay. He is in the eye of the hurricane right now. And he feels like there is only one thing that he can do to get himself out of the eye of the hurricane. He needs to write. In the past, he's always written himself out. He wrote himself to New York, basically. That's how he's gotten himself out of every bad situation. He is going to write down everything that he did. He's going to write down his entire affair, everything that happened there. He writes down very, very specific details about how he actually, when everyone was upstate, he invited Maria Reynolds into his own bed. Okay? She came over. She slept in me and Mrs. Hamilton's bed. I just slept with her repeatedly. Like, I did nothing to jeopardize this country. About 1,000-page document, releases it to the public before he even tells Eliza or anyone. Okay? He says this is the only way to protect my legacy, is actually just blasting out my affair. Okay? Via Tumblr post. Okay? So he blasts that out. Okay? It's called the Reynolds pamphlet. And then everyone is like, oh, yay. Like, yay, he's never going to be president. Like, perfect. He shot himself in the foot. Like, he literally destroyed his shot at literally anything ever. Okay? But all he cared about was just, like, people knowing that, like, he didn't embezzle. Okay? Enter Eliza. Okay? She's obviously bummed. Okay? She's obviously bummed about this whole situation. She sings this beautiful song called Burn, where she burns all of the letters that he ever wrote her, that could possibly like redeem him in the future if historians find them. She doesn't want anyone finding like anything good about him. She's taking herself out of the narrative. Okay, that's what she keeps saying. Like, I am removing myself from the narrative. Like, this is like, you're done. Like, she's obviously like, she doesn't leave him. I don't know if that really happened at the time, but she's pissed, obviously, and she's burning all those letters and taking herself out of his story. Okay. Now we have a little bit, we are learning a little bit more about Philip here, okay? Philip Schuyler Hamilton's son. He's still addicted to his dad at this time, despite his dad's many, many personal failings. And a young man at school starts shit-talking Hamilton because of everything that's going on. And Philip is like, I will not have you disparaging like my father's name. I'm challenging you to a duel, okay? And so Philip goes to his dad, Hamilton, and is like, Dad, like, I'm going to duel. Okay. Like, how do I do that? And Hamilton's like, basically, like, here's my gun. Okay. All you need to do is just shoot your pistol, like, up at the sky. Like, if he's a real man of honor, like, he'll just shoot up at the sky. Like, real men don't shoot. Like, you're going to be good. See you at dinner. And please don't do anything that would cause your mother to get upset. Okay. But have fun at your duel. Okay. Philip duels. He gets shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Which was nice of Hamilton to send him on out with his gun. Okay. Two guns. Okay. Father of the Year award. Yay. Okay. So now we have the Stay Alive reprise, which is probably the saddest part of the show, when Philip is like dying and Hamilton is there, Eliza is there, and Philip is like, Mom, like, do you remember like when you taught me piano, like, and we were counting in French, like un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, and then they go like back and forth. They're like un, deux, trois, and they're counting, and then Eliza goes sept, huit, neuf, and then he doesn't say it back, and then she's like sept, huit, neuf, and then he doesn't say it back, and so he's dead. And that is like the most heartbreaking part of the show. And I have full body chills just kind of thinking about it. So she's obviously kind of going through the ringer with everything, with, you know, the Reynolds pamphlet and, you know, her son now dying. They move uptown. Okay, the Hamiltons move uptown. It's quiet up there. Alex is singing like, Philip, you really would have liked it up here. It's quiet. And Eliza, you would like it up here too. It's really quiet. But basically the town is just singing about how they kind of see like Eliza wandering around aimlessly, and Alex is trying to like stand by her side, but she's kind of like a ghost and like a shell of a person, of course, because like what else would you expect? And then at the end of that song, she ends up forgiving him, which I personally can't relate to. Because like I would say the affair is like one thing. The blasting it out to everyone before even like telling me would be another. And then the getting my firstborn son killed would definitely be the icing on the cake. I don't think I'd be able to offer forgiveness at that time.
Right.
But she is really something. Okay. Now we have the election of 1800. Okay. We know John Adams is not getting reelected because I don't think people liked him. Okay. So it's really just down to Jefferson and Burr. Okay. So all of the Federalists who support Hamilton are like, hey, like both of these options suck. Like these are both Democratic Republicans. Like we'll just vote for whoever you tell us to vote for. Okay. And we know that Hamilton hates Jefferson. Okay. But he also can't stand Burr at this point either. So he ends up endorsing Jefferson. He says, I have literally never agreed with one thing that Jefferson has said. Here are all of the things that we have fought about and all of the things that I disagree with, but at least he has beliefs. Okay. Burr has none. Okay. And he blasts that out to his followers. Okay. Now we have Burr's pissed. Okay. Burr loses the election because of Hamilton's endorsement of Jefferson. And this is Burr's last straw with Hamilton. Like he's tired of Hamilton stepping on his toes. He writes Hamilton a letter that's like, I'm actually like done with your shit right now. You have kept me from the room where it happens for the last time. I look back on my life and like everything that's gone wrong, you have been there. I challenge you to a duel.
Ooh.
Okay. And this is like them writing letters back and forth from each other. And they're like real correspondence, which is like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A.Ham.
Yeah. A.Ham. Yeah. Yeah. They signed it A.Ham and A.Burr, which is, just buddies shooting the shit over letters.
So very cool.
Okay. Then we have Alex like getting out of bed really early in the morning. He's like, oh, Eliza, like, nothing. I just got to go somewhere. I've got a meeting. You go back to bed. Like everything's good. He writes a letter, which like obviously looking back is like probably, his will. He doesn't really say anything to Eliza. He just heads out to the duel. Okay. Now we have the penultimate number. Okay. Called The World Was Wide Enough. They get to the dueling grounds. And a key piece of information is that Hamilton was wearing his glasses to the duel. And Burr is like, oh, well, if he's wearing his glasses, like obviously he intends to like aim at me. He wants to see me so he can shoot me. So Hamilton raises, at the same time that Hamilton raises his gun to the sky, because that's what he told Philip to do and that's what he's going to do, Burr shoots at Hamilton.
Oh.
Okay. So now we have the slow motion bullet traveling towards Hamilton, and he kind of like reflects back on his life during that time and is basically like, I am making the choice to aim at the sky, which is insane because the whole show he's singing about not throwing away his shot, but the last thing he did was throw a shot away, and that's what killed him. And so he says, Eliza, you take your time. I'll see you on the other side. Bam. Okay. Shot. They row him back. They were in New Jersey because it's legal to duel in New Jersey. They row him back over to New York, and Eliza and Angelica were both there when he died. And then Burr says, like, I should have known that the world was wide enough for both of us. And now, like, I'm forever the villain in your history. And when you aimed your gun at the sky, like, yeah, sure, you might have been the first one to die, but I'm really the one who paid for it. Because now I'll just forever be known as the guy that shot Hamilton, and that's my legacy.
All because he wore his glasses.
All because he wore his glasses.
Crazy.
Yep. That's like so me wearing my
I
glasses.
was going to say, imagine like
right now.
every time you forget to take your glasses off, you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh,
You get shot.
So now we have the last song, which actually this is what started my Hamilton reemergence. I was listening to this in Trader Joe's the other day, and this song came on and stopped me in my tracks. I had to keel over because it is so powerful. It's called Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story. Starts with Jefferson and Madison, who we know hated Hamilton. They're like, hey, listen, like, we couldn't stand him, but like, you can't deny that like he gave us so much. And he built so much of this country, and he doesn't get enough credit. Okay. and they're going on like who tells your story, like who tells your story when you die, and then enter Eliza. Okay, she put herself back in the narrative. Okay, she lives another 50 years. It's not enough though. She spends her whole life trying to do what Hamilton would have done if he lived. She spoke out against slavery. She raised the funds for the Washington Monument. Like she interviewed all of the soldiers and told their accounts. Like kept Hamilton's legacy alive. She really did it all. But this is the part where I keeled over in Trader Joe's. Okay, the orphanage. She established the first private orphanage in New York City. And in their eyes, she sees you, Alexander, because he was an orphan. And she sees him every time. And when her time is up, has she done enough? Allow me to answer that question. Yes, you have. Eliza, you have. And the last moment of the show is her taking her final breath. Oh. And so some people believe that it's called Hamilton because she's the one telling the story and she's the one that kept the legacy alive. And that's actually Eliza Hamilton.
Did she actually do all this?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And that's it.
Wow. That's really moving.
Hey, I'm glad you agree, Kenny, because I moved as well.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions?
I needed a week, I think. Yeah.
And maybe you might even like listening to the soundtrack.
I think I would. Yeah.
A parallel that I would like to draw really quickly is Hamilton spent his whole life writing like he was running out of time, like he was up against the clock. Okay, he's writing, and then it turns out like he was up against the clock, like he died before he got to do like everything he wanted. Does this remind you of anyone else?
Oh. I'm sorry, I forget. I'm already forgetting the name.
Hey, take all
the playwright.
Take Jonathan Larson.
Jonathan Larson.
Okay, this 30-90 and Nonstop. Yeah. 30-90 and Nonstop, those are blood brothers.
Yeah.
Those songs, it's the same type of thing. I'm like literally like giving myself goosebumps because listen to this. Those two people were both, Hamilton and Jonathan Larson were both obsessed with their legacy. Who helped their legacy live on? Lin Manuel Miranda did both of those projects. He did Tick, Tick, Boom, the film, okay, continuing Jonathan Larson's legacy, and he continued Hamilton's legacy. And here we are continuing Lin's as he lives among us today.
Wow.
Okay? And what's crazy is like in the future, like when we're all gone, like someone's going to be telling these types of stories about Lin. And Lin writes like he's running out of time. Like Lin, I'm sure he gravitates towards these types of projects because he sees himself in both Jonathan and Hamilton.
100%.
Yeah.
This might not be a question that you can answer, but in your estimation, do you think Lin has accomplished everything that he wants to accomplish? Do you think if he died right now, he would feel at peace
I'm
with it?
sure he's just like them, like it will never be enough.
Yeah.
You know, but like he's accomplished more than like anyone could ever hope to. Like
yeah.
He could have stopped after In the Heights, you know?
So good.
But like he's still going. Like what's crazy is like he's still got tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, like what will he do next? I can't wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't In the Heights take him like years to that was his first play, right? And
that was his first play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say something crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it.
Oh.
Hey.
I'm too scared.
Is it still going?
No, it's not still going, but there's a movie with Anthony Ramos
Oh, okay.
that I have intentionally been putting off because it's like, how do you watch something that came before Hamilton, kind of, which like, I'm sure it's like fantastic. I've heard nothing but good things, but like, yeah. And I'm gonna watch it, but like, I don't know. It's always kind of hard, like going back, you know, like I have that with a lot of authors. It's like, I've read your like best book and like I am excited to read what you've written before, but it's like a little daunting.
Yeah.
You know, going back in time in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really what I have to say about Hamilton. Honored to contribute to his legacy, even just in a small way. And Eliza's more importantly. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. Really want to encourage you to listen to the Hamilton soundtrack. And I'll see you next week.